of cherry limeade, if I'm not mistaken. And they it shows they're doing a lot of things creatively, and they're doing a lot of things that are fun and interesting. Shadolphin, I believe, is an H3 player for Wisp, wrong side. I believe nothing has been just making massive steps forward as just a mechanical prowess to behold and supporting the team. It's what they've been doing has been more than impressive.
Yeah, and I've seen so many players, prominent mid-level players, tweet out things like, I'm just not used to seeing what they do, and I don't know how to beat it. Which is, we see nothing but quad shooter across the board, that we're just kind of lulled to sleep into thinking it's the best way to go across the game. And maybe it is, but when you're not used to facing things that are off meta, it can kind of catch you off guard. It's like, oh, Glugas has that range. I wasn't expecting to die at this distance, or oh, I forgot rollers can like one shot you right in front of the face if you lose track of them or something like that. It can kind of sneak up on you. And I'm not saying that Uwu's comp is like gimmicky to an extent, but it's definitely something teams aren't used to. Teams have been constantly saying we're not used to fighting against it, and we don't really know how to do it yet.
There is a video that I watched a long time ago. It's a YouTube video called Things of Beauty, Super Smash Bros. As a spectator sport. And it talks about Melee and the meta that was developing around Melee back like 6-7 years ago. And the analogy that they made was to baseball. And that how the less people throw a knuckleball, the more valuable a knuckleball becomes that a pitcher can do. And that's kind of what we're seeing now develop. And as someone who plays very non-meta weapons, a lot of times people just won't expect what a charger can do, right? Like, there are just so few people playing charger that people are like, oh, right, I can't stand there. I forgot about that because I just don't have the practice with it. That's what we're seeing develop.
And we're going to be seeing Wisp here. Did Allie join with? I know Allie's playing with Sub Power Up, but Allie's officially joined Wisp after this tournament, I believe, as like a full-time player. Exactly. Who else is on Wisp? I know they've been playing recently. They got Shad Dolphin, right? H3.
Yes, the H3 player. They've got Kira, Kera, a really good gal player, aggro player.
Oh, they got Apple. I saw Apple light people up on an IPL stream. I think it was SOS. Apple won like K-Gal, I believe. It was just ripping people apart. Is that Apple from like Deep Fried Octolings? I want to say it's hard to. I
don't remember exactly
what's from,
but that sounds about right. And so all of these are just really high level mechanical players that like. I met Kara from TikTok, and like I saw their plays, and like they were like Div 3, Div 4 at the time, right? Like, and they were on the come up, and I was just like, you're playing like a mechanical god. Like, I hope that you do well. And like seeing them do well now it's been really cool. And it's players like that are have really fun stories to follow.
Wisp, like these players are not new to competitive, but this is a new team forming from some players, which is something you don't really see nowadays. It's kind of hard to form a new team in the past, like over the course of the summer, just because like you don't know what weapons everybody's on your team's going to be using in 2 months. Yeah, like you don't know, do you even need a support player? There's no armor. Do you need an armor bot? Is that person switching to something else?
Okay.
And by the way, there is somebody else in this team for Wisp. You see what I see, Mr. Z.
Is that Mr. Z?
That is Tukey Z. That's Charger.
Holy. That's who they have subbing for them.
Listed as an alternate. Yeah, it's not a bad sub to have for your team. That's a pretty good Charger player.
That's going to be very interesting to see how it messes with compositions. For your point about Splatoon 3 and everything, I think that making a team now, so that way you have defined roles that you can just like try out different weapons and things when you get to the game, I think is actually more important. And I think that like finding people in that chaos as soon as 3 comes out is going to be worse for people. I think that having a team beforehand that you can work with as you go into the game is more important. But that is all I will say on that.
Well, I'll say this. It is important to establish people that you can vibe with now. So, like, you at least know who you want to be playing with going forward. But yeah, to another clash of 2 established teams. Uwu, again, we're expecting like a Glugas maybe and a Roller to some extent, but I think we're going to see more of a K-Gal. I don't know what Mr. Z would do on a map like this, but I mean, you could get away with using Charger if you really feel like it. And that's exactly what it's going to be, a scoped fire fin. And what in the world am I looking at there? Squiffer to go with a flings. It's not a shooter inside, eh?
And that is crazy, but Squiffer actually puts out a ton of paint alongside the Flingza.
The Carbon just went straight for Mr. Z. Just beeline for it. Didn't even give him a chance to get established.
Didn't even give me a chance to talk. Okay, very well. I believe that's Uzi on the Carbon, right? Or is it Woomy? No, it's Woomy on the Carbon. Alright, very well, Woomy. I see you. Gonna get taken down that time. Going a little bit too hard on that Carbon, but that is very impressive, the fact that they were able to sneak up on that. And if a Carbon needs to be doing that to be effective. Here comes Kara on the K-shot, not able to do anything, ends up getting sideswiped by this Flingza Roller. Gonna get shot down, peeking out a little bit too much after taking that greedy shot. This is looking like it's Wisp's game in control. It never really looked like they were too in trouble, except for when Z went down earlier. And now it's looking like Ooze on the back foot.
Yeah.
How are they gonna break in with this comp?
Poke the bear early. Mr. Z coming back out and getting 3 KA instantly. So they're like, oh, okay, that's how this is going to be. I'm going to fire right back at you guys. Some more players going down. But now we see nothing with the Squiffer getting a tap shot and a splat of somebody right in front of their face. I'm just trying to work out in my head how this comp makes any sort of sense at all. But right now, they got rid of all their penalty points. And I guess that's your armor bot coming out with the Squiffer. Oh man, I'm still processing what I'm looking at. It looks like they're going to find a way to get lead here, though. Maybe not. There's a lot of specials coming out from the side of Wisp.
Squiffer gives out so much information and just like basically says, hey, Carbon, go hit this thing for a lot of damage, right? And then the Flingza and the Squiffer paint for the Carbon, and then the Carbon moves forward. And then sometimes the Nautilus comes in and sideswipes it anyways. A great shot, able to trade out with Z is nothing. Shad's going to try and make this thing happen on that end zap, not the H3 this time around. He's going to try and paint that zone, going to get the cap down. It's barely the lead for Wisp so far, but this would look like it's going slowly towards the momentum of Unlimited Woomy United. Finally, they cap the zone. They've only got a little bit of penalty to chew through before they can take that sweet bite of the lead. Finally, the armor comes online, and let's see if they can make this thing happen. Oh, great shot for nothing! How did you peek around that knowing exactly when the sponge was going to dip down and able to get that shot off? Now it's going to be harassing Mr. Z up here. They can't do anything. They're going to be able to chew through this lead. Although the armor is coming online with the missiles and the bomb rush, they're not going to have time. They need to go now.
Oh. That Squiffer just sat on that person. Ouch, that's got to be a crime in some states. But Apple coming back out now with some armor to work with, and they're able to flip the zone back into their favor. But damage done, lead passes over to the side of Unlimited Woomy United. But all those penalty points on this map seems like an eternity. You don't have to do much to stall out the zone, and they do have the range to work with. But the Nautilus gets taken down, I believe, by Mr. Z, who's currently leading the pack with 9 KA of everybody right now. It is the age of the Charger all of a sudden.
And Chargers battles they will do. Saber gonna try and find Apple here. Unfortunately, K-Gal just kind of solos. Woomy ends up getting caught out a little bit with no paint, and that's looking like there's not enough paint on the map. They're going to be the lead for Wisp. There's only 1:30 left. They've only got a few more chances to get this thing going. Maybe even one more chance unless they can really find a quick opportunity or a quick pick. It doesn't look like they're going to find it. Finally, the special timers are coming online. We are finally seeing this auto bomb rush maybe potentially coming out from Woomy to try and make a little bit of paint for himself. Gonna try and find Apple on this left side with Saber's help, but Apple's able to find 2! How did you get that pick? And it's only Woozy and nothing trying to keep the zone painted, but they're gonna have to fight over a K-shot and a zap, and I don't know if that's enough paint, Popgun.
And you know, Mr. Z forcing the distance, forcing that flings the back. Yeah, you get to fire that missiles, but I'm not going to let you go into the zone. And now Mr. Z's distracted so they can come back in, and they do finally cap and keep this game going a little bit longer before Shads gets taken down. But it's the players of Uwu that are just getting picked apart now by the last players alive for the side of Wisp as they force this last player back. And that's the advantage of a charger. Yeah, sitting there in zone, but it's forcing Uwu to be honest. And they don't really have much. Yeah, when the carbon goes in there, that's yet again Woomy being crazy with that thing, just going straight in head first. And just enough wiggle to dodge all those shots, but this is a huge mountain that they got to come back from. All these specials they have to work with, but this zone's going to be stalled out a lot, and they're going to have to basically go a minute into overtime if they want to find a way to win this one, but they're getting to Z now.
They're going to have the Autobomb Rush to finally chip down those armors when they try and come in, and again, Z going down is going to be huge. They're not going to have a huge capping special. The Booyah can be painted over very easily, especially with the Flingza. Only 30 ticks left, and they're going to try and make this thing happen. They end up getting split up by the armor, but Woomy's able to come in. Apple ends up taking one down. Nothing able to find another shot on Shed. It's the pick. It's only Mr. Z. It's only Mr. Z able, and nothing gets the shot off to clutch it. They're able to paint over this. It's only the Kgal left. It's only the Kgal, and they can't paint enough over it. This is going to be the game for Uwu, taking it out at the last second with a huge overtime play.
Well, you don't see that every day. Double roller, Squiffer Nautilus wins game 1 here against Wisp.
9 arbors from Squiffer? From a Squiffer? That's more than I see juniors get. That's more than Shad got. How more do you get 9 arbors?
Out armored the Inzap. And, you know, you kind of talk about it's kind of the perfect support weapon to some extent. I don't know if it puts down as much paint as fluidly as like a Junior and Inzap, but you got that point sensor there that can locate everybody, allows provide 9 armors. My goodness. So, yeah, Uwu able to hold on right there, and they finally, like, Mr. Z was able to get established, but they finally found a way to break through and just keep harassing. Wisp has to keep their charger safe. Their charger can solo this game, quite honestly. They don't need the charger to, but Z is that good. But when they're constantly under duress like that, there's not much that they can do other than just get smacked in the face by the roller. And here's the thing about teams like Uwu, you can't prepare for this next game because you don't know what's coming. They're going to bring some rollers, yes, but what else are they going to throw at you? You can't prepare for it, except they're going to bring the same exact thing, so never mind.
This is their comp. Like, I think that they play this on pretty much every single map mode, which is ridiculous, but they can do it. Oh, it's very, very fun to see. They're going to be able to make a little bit of a slow move in. They're going to let Wisp get the first hold, just like they did on that pit game. But they're going to be able to move in very quickly with the paint that they have and the specials that they have. And all of a sudden, Saber's able to find one corner Apple in this corner, and all of a sudden the tower is moving. And although there's specials online for Wisp, this doesn't look like it's going to be a huge first push. At the very least, can break the checkpoint. What?
They were able to get a splat as that ink wall goes down, but no, they don't get that first checkpoint. Wisp able to hold on. Again, Mr. Z just constantly under attack, having a lot of difficulty getting established. But the rest of the players for Wisp able to stay up live here, able to get some trades to just at least slow down the tower as they're trying to find a way to get back into mid. But while they're doing it, it looks like some more players are going down without some trades this time around. I can't believe Uwu hasn't passed this checkpoint. They're winning the fight, so it at least appears. And now they're in a great
backed into a corner they are. Look at how backed into a corner Wisp is. They're all over here. The missiles are going to just shove them down into the plant area where they can be easily picked off if Wisp is, or Uwu is at the ready. Uzi just in the perfect position to keep this tower moving, at least protect it for the time being, and they're being patient here, which I think is really, really clutch for them. They're not overstepping, they're not making sure they go in too far, and they're just waiting to make sure they get a good push on this tower and can break through the checkpoint. Unfortunately, they don't get it. I love the patience, but not going to work out quite yet. They're going to be able to back up, though.
And now this is where you're going to have to see who on Wisp can start stepping up. And they got a lot of playmakers. Obviously, we've been talking about Z, but Apple's been showing more than enough capability to just kind of take over a game when they absolutely need their Kgal to do so. Leading the pack with 4KA right now, missiles coming out from Kara as they're trying to just establish control of the enemy plat, or put some paint on the enemy plat. But that is a flanking Squiffer, and look out below! Where did that roller come from? What tree did they fall out of? Able to get a trade right there, but all the trades are going to work into the favor of the team that's got the lead. Right now it's Uwu, but Wisp is finally starting to clear up, and that is a delayed wipe. And look at Apple starting to push up. That's exactly what you need.
That's exactly what they need, and they're going to be able to capitalize off of it if Kara can find this pick onto nothing. Able to do so. Saber not going to end up finding the pick onto Kara. That K-Shot's going to sneak away with those missiles and fire them off one more time, and that's going to make sure that they get this checkpoint at the very least and shove them into this corner. Look at how much Uzi is trying to dance around. Hasn't gone down yet, even fighting back after all that. I think Kara ended up going down. Hold on. Ooh, able to stop the bleeding. Not too quickly, though. There are going to be a lot of people still up at bats. They're going to have to end up jumping out. That could have been a lot worse, though. The fact that they were shoved into that corner. I was expecting a knockout.
Still 2 checkpoints fall, and you want to control that second checkpoint. A full checkpoint lead here is pretty good because that second checkpoint's very difficult to get across, but Uwu's more than capable of getting up into that spot as we see the Squiffer, not the roller trying to challenge that upper area, but the Squiffer. So now it's a 2v2 situation. Both rollers are down, so there's not really anywhere to go at this point other than just to try to put some paint down, but instead you see Saber trying to hop onto this tower, trying to challenge the Charger. That's not a winning battle you want to take. Yeah, wisely backs off, and someone else takes care of the Charger, and now they're in a great position to clear this checkpoint.
Saber doing a perfect job of being a bait there, right? Just making sure that they're staying alive. Not really focused on getting the kill, just making sure to draw attention and make sure they stay alive. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do so that time. Zenitz does take them down. This tower is moving, but not with enough support. Woomy, ooh, blah, blah, blah. All of these names are just sound the same to me. Ooh, Woozy and Woomy get taken down, the roller duo, and this is looking like it's going to be Wisp holding on to mid for the final push of the game.
Yes, Uwu, a lovely team name going up against Wisp, and Apple doing a good job. 12KA leading the pack for their team. Just really needs to. Now they don't have that checkpoint lead that they had before, so there is still it's still not a comfortable situation to be in for this last 30 seconds. But you do have the specials to work with. You have Suction Bomb Rush, which is like a get off the tower special. You got Booyah Bomb, which is a you have no choice but to get off the tower special. And you can see them holding onto those specials right now. The Swiffer getting taken care of. So Wisp in a great position to close out this game. Armor just going down as they try to find a way to clean up the last few Uwu players. And I don't want to hop on this tower and deliver it to them, but you control mid, and you still, look at it, still not using that Booyah Bomb until right now. Perfectly cooking that Booyah Bomb. That's got to be game, and it looks like we're going to a game 3. Finally with something on the line. What a great set, though.
This is already an amazing set. Star plays from both sides, I have to admit. Like, and not plays that are just like, oh, I made a hero play. Like, no, like clean, good team play from both sides. This is what happens when you have a team that's practicing together, working together, and knows how to move together as a unit. And it's just so refreshing to see that it's more than just, oh, one player popped off. It's a combination of using the specials, being in the right position, and making sure that you can execute on those plays to make something happen, to make a lot of chain kills happen, to get those pushes down. And that's what I love to see.
And you know, when you're trying to figure out a team like Uwu and you're trying to adjust to what they're doing, the longer the set goes on, the more opportunities you have to figure them out. And that might be what took place over the course of that second game there with Wisp, and that might give them a little bit of advantage going into this game 3. But, I mean, you said they're not going to change their comp, Squiffer and Nautilus, and I mean, I guess in my mind it doesn't work anywhere, but I can be proven wrong here. But now you got Rainmaker, and Rainmaker on Muscle Forge Fitness. These games can go so quickly along that right side if you're not ready, but those rollers can do a lot of damage here because you do like having arcing weapons here. So those rollers are going to have to be key, but it's just a matter of can Wisp start figuring out the playstyle that they're going to see. You know that roller is going straight for you. The Carbon's going straight for you. Like there's no surprise that that's going to happen.
Hey, Popgun. It's game 3, and this is for moving on to Redemption Bracket in SuperJump, making sure they get a good seed, making sure they get a good placement, and get a ride to the Alpha Bracket potentially after going through the gauntlet that will be coming up next. But this is for the marbles. Can Unlimited Woomy United take this Rainmaker all the way to the pedestal right now? It looks like they're going to be able to take down at least Mr. Z in the meantime. Uzi going down, not going to have that paint for the push. The missile's coming in, and nothing goes down as well on the other side. Going to be able to get up that ramp, which is actually really important. That's one of the choke points, the benchmarks for these pushes that you need to be able to get through that are going to be easy to hold for the side of Uwu. But that's a good first push.
Yeah, and they were able to do it with only one player getting splats, Woomy on the carbon roller. So again, what are they going to do on the defensive side here? 49, obviously not really a lead that they're going to be comfortable with all this time left to go here, but they're doing a good job of swarming. And again, that was the thing. That was the Flingza. Those shots came from like the snipe area. What's the distance of a Flingza? That was a lot of pressure they were applying while not even being close to mid. Now here's the question. Are they looking to go through mid there? Because if you go up that zip line, you get a ton of points. And it looks like they're at least flirting with the idea of it, now starting to rotate back right and going the only other route that you can go along the right little hill there by the lockers, but waiting for the rest of the players. It all kind of comes down to Uwu or Woomy on the carbon roller, who kind of initiates the pushes here, and they do have some chicken bomb rushes to work with as well. But yeah, until one of those players just kind of creates something, there's not really anywhere for them to go, and I don't know if you just want to die in mid while getting wiped like this.
Who's he going to try and dance around? I think Woomy and Saber ended up going across the Great Bridge to try and take down Mr. Z on that charger, which is going to be so impressive. And you usually need someone doing that. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do so. And now Apple's coming around trying to do the same thing. They're going to be able to get up that ramp. They're going to be able to get the lead. Ooh, Woomy's trapped behind them at the time being. Nothing able to at least land a shot and prevent them from really getting a lead that's way, way too far up forward for them to defend. Going to send the missiles out now. Going to send out the armor. And it's looking like they're going to be able to disperse Wisp for the time being.
It looked like there was an opportunity to add to the lead right there, but the missiles forced everybody back. I thought for sure somebody was going to run forward and grab and just extend the lead a little bit, especially with that ink wall getting thrown out there. But now man advantage, but nice shot there by Z, able to kill at least one player, and that keeps everybody honest. So they can't just grab it and run, which it looked like they were trying to do. But yeah, now you're in a situation with Uwu. You got to create pushes, and it seems like they're just trying to create pushes, like you said, by taking care of Z. That's what they've been focusing on all set long, and I think Wisp is starting to realize that now, and they're finding ways to protect their charger, and they're being rewarded for it.
Yeah, Z has been a lot more careful during the later half of the set and has been able to take a lot more shots. And right there you saw Woomy try and just go across without the support of the missiles and was not able to find Z there, instead of just getting popped and taken down. The Rainmaker is in the hands of Uzi once again, as Woomy's going to try and find their way up to this ramp here. All the members of Uwu are suddenly across the bridge and trying to fight here. Nothing and Woomy end up going down though. The missiles are coming in, and though there's a minute and a half left, there's not that many more chances for them to push this Rainmaker.
Where were they going with that? Yeah, they just died going forward. That was kind of awkward right there. But again, it seems like their plan has been figured out. Oh, they're just going for our charger. And when they can't kill the charger, it's like, oh, they don't really have that plan B. So Uwu's got a minute to figure out what their offensive game plan is going to be. If they can't do that, then Wisp, even though this isn't a good lead to have, it might just be good enough, quite honestly, unless just something crazy happens on the side of Uwu, because they grab the Rainmaker yet again, but it's taken down, and it's just like, what are you going to do at this point without your carbon?
And look at how Z is positioning. Z positioned way back over on the left there, just saying super duper safe. Like, just let them come to us. We know Uwu's going to try and push the matter themselves. And instead, let's just let Z have all the time in the world to make that happen. Now sending out the bomb rush here. Going to send up the wall. Finally, Z goes down, but is that going to be worth it? I don't think so. They're going to try and send the Rainmaker
going the other way.
They're going to try and send it across the rail, but it's not going to end up happening. All of a sudden, there's 20 seconds left, and Uwu is scraping for a second chance, and nothing gets found out.
They're not going to get there. I don't think. I mean, it's 10 seconds. The Rainmaker might reset. But I would grab it. I would grab it right here. A nice shot, but I don't know if it's going to... Can they pop it in time and grab it? They should be able to. Barely, yes. Can they dodge the Brio Bomb? And they do, but they can't get away. Oh, those sneaky dogs. They tried to distract on the right side and sneak through the zip line. but Wisp showing a little bit more experience and speed to shut it down, and they withstand. They solved Uwu over the course of that set.
It really did look like they were solved, right? And it looked like every time Woomy tried to go across and make that play, I don't think that the map... I think this was kind of a case of like, oh, if this was a different map mode, maybe we would have seen it. Like, this is so hard for Carbon to get going on, right? And that's one of the hard things. Like, they tried to just, like, send Woomy across that grates a couple times too many, I think. And eventually they're going to just... Wisp was just like, we don't have to do anything. We can just sit here. We can snipe you as we come across. Good luck. And they couldn't do anything.
You know, I don't know how Wisp feels about that match, but me personally, that's why I said things like Cherry Limeade's the funnest team to play against, just because it's like presenting a puzzle to you that you have to solve over the course of a best of 3, and that's exactly what Wisp did. They recognized, okay, this is what they're trying to accomplish with this comp. And now we know how to, and we can't beat it in the ready up screen, but we got to beat it in the middle of the game. We got to beat it with our call outs and a strategy. And they were able to come up with something. A 41 point lead isn't really something that you feel comfortable with, but when you recognize, oh, we can just shut down this particular playstyle they're trying to push at us and keep our chargers safe, we're going to be just fine. So an impressive, a smart win there for Wisp. But man, Unlimited Woomy United, that's not the same team we saw back in October of Lowing. No. They've become something else. They are something else. And that was a fun one to watch.
Oh, yeah. And Wisp as well. Wisp is a team that is on the come up. Like, they're doing super well, like consistently winning a lot of, like, in SOS. They're doing well in these mid-level tournaments. Like, they're a team to watch. And I'm super excited to see them, especially during this tournament, to see if they can get all the way through Redemption Bracket, which will be coming up shortly, and I believe at 10 minutes past the hour. That is going to be it for Popgun and I.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who made this happen. Thank you to everyone who I've met in the past 5 years of Splatoon 2, since this is kind of, in a sense, a very big send-off for the community that has been built around this, for the game that has been built around this community.
Yes, and we got a lot more great action coming up. We're going to take a quick 10-ish minute break. Toby and... Oh, no, Dura.
Yes, Dura.
Yeah, Toby and Dura are going to be coming in. We're bringing in the EU commentators to close out the day one of the tournament late at night. So that's going to be interesting, giving you guys a pretty hype redemption match coming up. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Redemption Bracket of SuperJump 2.